Well, good morning, Houston. This is Oscar Hines. Welcome to Ninja Talks. Ninja Talks is the show where we connect with individuals one-on-one to really delve in deeper. And of course, as is our custom, we always have fascinating guests and fascinating conversations. Welcome, Ms. Shawn Eaglin. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's a
Super
pleasure.
excited.
It's a pleasure. So I have to say that when we first met, we had a couple of really interesting conversations,
Yes.
and then we had another conversation. I thought, man, you've got all these layers. So with any luck
Yes,
today, we're
yes.
gonna peel back some of those layers a little bit.
I'm ready to be transparent. I'm ready.
Well, awesome, because not everyone gets to go one-on-one with the ninja. So this is on.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Okay, so
I'm honored.
you know, I quite frankly, I am honored because I think you have a very varied and interesting, nuanced background. So tell us a little bit about you first, so we can roll into it.
So first, hello moguls. And I call everyone I meet a mogul because everyone to me is a very important person, and that's the true definition of mogul. My name is Shawn Eaglin. Background is I'm a poli-sci grad from U of H. Go Cougars! All my
Yes.
Cougars out there. And so I've had an extensive career in the political world, the political arena. My last, I guess you can say, contract was with Lieutenant Janine Hughes, who ran. She's a former candidate for sheriff of Fort Bend County. Amazing opportunity. It really, really was. And it was my first opportunity to actually manage a campaign. I've always worked as a, I guess either a manager or a coordinator or a director. So this was really, really a great feat for me. And she was wonderful to work with. Also, I'm a real estate agent. So I deal with investors, individuals who are looking to sell their properties and or, because sometimes they're doing both at the same time,
Yes.
purchase a property. That could be a piece of land, a home, a rental property, multifamily, so just the entire gambit.
Yes.
And then I have Mogul on the Move, acronym MOM, Mogul on the Move, and we'll deal into that.
I love that.
deeper.
I love that. Mogul on the move. That is so cool. It rolls off the tongue beautifully. So there's a lot there. There's a lot going on.
Multifaceted, I would like to say.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Well, you know, I always love this analogy of a diamond because, you know, when a diamond is before a true, I guess, craftsman takes that diamond, right, and starts to create those facets, and then the facets start reflecting inside of reflections, and it creates these amazing, you know, prisms. And I have to say, and I'm going to sort of yell my partiality, but I love to see and talk to beautiful, strong African American women that are confident in all the different areas of their life.
And we appreciate that.
Yes.
I can
yes.
speak for my other beautiful, strong African American women.
Well, awesome.
That's
Well,
appreciated.
it is truly an honor. And so there are lots of layers. And I remembered having a conversation with a friend some time back, and she was very proud graduate of Texas Southern University and very, very strong, high-powered individual, and we were talking specifically about the perception that sometimes an African American woman has, and I remember having some conversations around that as well. So what you smiled when I said that? So what?
Because if you remember, you recall, you and I had a bit of a conversation about that.
Yes.
So I will say, I don't know if we can't use foul language, huh?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I've been called a bitch in the
Okay.
political world, right? Because I believe in standing for what I believe in standing for. And me getting into politics was to bring some integrity. And so this last campaign truly showed people that I actually esteemed. I saw some things behind the scene that really was shocking. And I was not going to go with the grain. I was going to go against the grain. And so I was called a bitch. But I'm fine with that, because as long as I feel like I can sleep at night with the decisions that I've made in whatever industry I'm dealing with at the moment, then that's fine. I will be labeled that. Now, literally, whenever I meet someone, I'm going to speak. I'm smiling. I'm never, ever unpleasant. So it's amazing to me that a man can stand for what they believe in, right? Regardless if I feel like it's right or wrong. And they're considered a strong man, a powerful man, you know, astute. But sometimes when women do that, then we're, you know, labeled.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that was exactly where I was going to go, and that's where you took it. If a man says the exact same words, it's perceived differently, and a woman is vilified for being strong in that regard.
Yes.
Which is really unfortunate and sad.
Yes.
So I mean, how do you change a narrative like that?
Well, what we're doing right here, conversation, and I feel like for me, I know my purpose. One of my purposes is to be a matriarch. I feel like I am the matriarch of my family, meaning I'm the person that people come to for, even with my friends. I'm that one friend that everyone comes to for comfort, maybe financially. They're needing assistance, to share things with me. They know if they tell me not to repeat, it will not be repeated. And so I'm that safe place, right? So I can be this powerful woman, but I'm still a matriarch in the sense as I am also a comforter, right? But that's not talked about when you're speaking about a matriarch or powerful woman. We only want to focus on when we have to be strong or stern or steadfast in our beliefs. But a lot of us are also comforters.
Yes.
So it's a very complex ideal.
There's nuances to it. So one of the perceptions, anytime in the religious paradigm, when we hear of, like we look in a biblical sense, we always have that vengeful God, that God of war, that jealous God. When we look at the paradigm of Mother Earth, like in some of the African traditions, you have nurturing and caring and loving, and so the matriarchal energy, the feminine energy, is actually a healing energy.
It is. I always say so. The scripture in which I found my purpose is Matthew 23:11, and it pretty much informs and instructs us. Those that are the greatest amongst you will serve. And I said, you know what? Wow. That's my purpose, servitude. Like I'm meant to serve others. Sometimes I get paid.
Yes.
To serve others.
Yes, that's right.
But that is my purpose because, you know, people I come in contact with, I think you mentioned that to me too. Everyone has even as a younger adult and even as a child, you know, people are drawn to you. You have such a strong presence. You have such a powerful energy.
Yes.
And so the humble side of me, I guess, was drawn to that scripture, right?
Yes. I
may be perceived as this type of woman, but that means that I have even a greater purpose, right? And it's to serve others. And so that how Mogul on the Move came about.
Yes. Wow. Well, see, that's pretty interesting, and we'll delve into the Mogul on the Move piece in a little later in a segment. But in this idea of service, you've actually had to really do some, I guess, what we'd call brand management when it comes to the political folks that you work with. That's not an easy task. Sometimes politicians like herding cats because they decided to get into politics because they were like,
yes. It's funny because you say decided to get into my candidate. This was her first campaign.
Okay.
So she was fresh.
Yes.
Like this was newness to her.
Yes.
And this is the South, and she's from the East Coast, and so you know. Different regions, we communicate a little differently.
Yes, we do.
The reason why I decided to work with her, and it was funny, she was very persistent because I kept saying no. Like, no, I don't, you know. My last campaign was 2016 for a bond with Alding ISD, and I was contracted. And I just really wasn't interested in taking on something so great because when you have a county election, it's totally different unless you're dealing with a larger city like Houston.
Right.
It is nonstop campaigning on the ground grunt work, So I knew it was going to be it's going to take over my life pretty much, which is what it did.
You to prepare to not have a social life
exactly.
for a while, yeah.
But she was such an amazing woman. I mean, her energy, she's pure at heart, extremely educated, okay? I mean, FBI graduate, extremely educated, commander. I couldn't say no. I had to, it was like, okay, this is part of my purpose, part of my servitude.
Yes.
And so, but we did, we went back and forth regarding communication. It's much different, dealing with Southern men is much different.
It is because a East Coast person has a whole different energy about. It's like, so how's it going? So what are we doing? I remember when I went to, I was on the East Coast. It was funny. The guy, and I use the word guy a lot too, but said, "How are yous doing? What are yous gonna do?" I said, "Are you saying yous?" Like
the different cultures.
Yeah, you got
cultures.
But
we
there's
say y'all. I mean, people are like, what?
Exactly. Well, the energy is a little bit different too, because East Coast people tend to interrupt each other in mid sentence a lot of times. You're halfway through a sentence, and you're like, because they already get it, so they want to show you they got it, so they want to go to the next thing. And anytime I talk to my East Coast guys, I get that a lot, So where I have friends, still great friends over there, like, I was going to call you. I thought I was going to call you. And then I said, do you realize how you sound right now? And then I have one female friend. She's like, my daughter. I'm going to get my daughter. And
that's
so
just there.
It's hysterical.
We all have our own little
nuances,
slangs or nuances.
That's right. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny, but there's a definite. What you're saying is that there's a definite difference in the mode of communication, and you were just alluding to, especially when it comes to Southern men. So what does that mean?
The way Southern women usually will communicate with Southern men. So for me, like we talked about prior, I'm a 70s baby, right? And so I was raised, I guess I can't say whatever I want to say. You did tell me that, right? So, for example, my father, I would bring him his house shoes, or when it was time to eat, and, I would bring him his plate, whatever he needed, servitude. Yeah. But I found joy in it, right?
Yes.
And some women, depending upon how you were raised and what region you're from, you might look at that as being demeaning. Or, But for us, we were raised to find joy, and I still do. If I'm dating, I've gotten into debates. I'm going to bring my man his plate. I'm going to make his plate if he desires that. Now, if he doesn't, then that's fine too. Sure. But catering, it's not demeaning to me. And it's so funny because an East Coast woman will sing along to Destiny's Child Cater to You, but then the next minute you're telling me, why am I catering to my man?
Now there's a lot to unpack in that conversation. So I want to go back to it, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about this difference in culture, but also about this idea of servitude, because there's some different spins I have on that. Folks, you're listening to the Edge Radio Network. We are here live at Midtown Bar and Grill. Come by and see us. At some point, we will be doing some live studio audience work, but we're going to take a quick break. We are talking to the wonderful and amazing Miss Shawn Eaglin. We'll be back in just a moment.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay,
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
And we are back. You are listening to Ninja Talks, the show that really gets past those surface areas down into depth. And we are talking to the amazing Sean Eaglin, and we were just before the break about to hit on a topic that some of you ladies out there might be, oh hell no.
And that's okay. Do what's best for you, and I'm going to do what's best for me and my man.
Okay. So for those just joining us now, you were saying that you derive pleasure in serving a plate and bringing a plate to your man, making him feel catered to.
Yeah, making him feel honored. And once again, a lot has to do with how a woman or a man has been raised. Some men might not want you to bring them their plate. Hey, I was raised around older individuals,
mm-hmm.
and that's what we did, and we found joy in it. And so to me, it's pleasure. And once again, like I said, that's what Cater to You, the song by Destiny's Child, is about. We jam to it, but a lot of us have an issue with you, and that's okay. It's whatever's best for you and your mate.
Right.
For me and mine, I will be catering to my man. Now, it's reciprocation.
Now,
that means he's already done his work.
Yeah. So what is the reciprocity for you?
It's me showing him that I appreciate him as a man. I honor him as a man.
But how does he pay you back?
Well, he's already done the work.
What do you mean the
so
work?
So it's me paying him back. He's already provided chivalry. He's already, courted me.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And that never stops. Right? I don't believe, even when I do get married, let's send a prayer up. We're never going to stop courting, making that time, that quality time for each other. I definitely am once again, that goes to the old school in me. I'm not going to give you the milk before you purchase the cow.
Yeah.
So just making me feel special. And sometimes people go straight to monetary. It's not monetary. It's just the small things,
Mm-hmm.
Calling to check on me, ask me how my day went as well. Right?
So what's your love language? Is that your love language?
So my love language is everything except for affirmation. I don't need to be told that I'm beautiful. That I need you to show me how you feel about me. It's action.
Mm-hmm.
which is very different because most of my friends differ with love language. They want to be told that they're beautiful. They find issue when a man doesn't affirm them, or, you know, honey, I like that outfit you have on. That's just never been me, right? And maybe because when I was raised, I was always affirmed, right? And so that's my reason why I'm thinking that I don't really need that, but I need the action, the affection, gifts, servitude. I can't remember the other one. So all of those except for affirmation.
Touch is another one.
Yeah, affection.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm very affectionate. But I just don't need to be told. Now, I do like to hear I love you.
Sure.
But I don't need to be told that my outfit is, oh, that's a beautiful outfit, or you look beautiful, or.
So you won't say, do I look fat in this dress?
No, that's not me.
Women, you know, guys get scared to death. They're like, what should I say right now? No, I'm not sure. Okay, so
that's not me. No, that's not me.
That's yeah, that could be unnerving for guys.
Yeah, that's not me. That's not me.
Well, you know, it's interesting because the male brain and the female brain are very different, not just in the obvious ways, but also in the way we process information. Women are far more detail oriented, but you also are far more analytic. Like if I say, you know, that's a beautiful dress. It's an interesting dress. If I said, let's say it's an interesting dress, you might say something like, what did he mean by interesting? What did that? Now you
I
won't.
don't think the same.
You won't.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying a lot of women will, and they'll analyze the hell out of it until it's like, okay, let it go.
You know, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
What I would go to is, if you say that to me, go ahead and say that.
That's a really interesting dress.
Oh, what do you like? Is it the design that you find interesting? Is it the pattern? That's where my mind goes.
Yeah. Okay. Right? That's nice. Yeah.
But I think it has to deal with security and insecurity. I just had a conversation with my love, my honey, and we were talking about the huge difference when dealing with someone who's secure within themselves and who has quite a few insecurities.
Yeah.
So because I'm secure with myself, I'm not automatically going to negative thought.
Right.
What do you mean by that? No, I'm not doing that. Because if you like it or not, I'm still wearing it. I'm looking good in it, regardless of what you may think.
That's right.
So my mindset is maybe a bit different.
Nice. Well, it's an important distinction, because I think sometimes with individuals that have some insecurity issues, you may not know what those bumps in the road are. You know, some speed bumps are covered until you get to them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, what just triggered that hot mess?
What just happened? Yes.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Oh, yeah. And that's a little unnerving, because you never know. Now, you know, my personal philosophy with that is that I believe you need to go through the seasons together. I really do. Because I've done enough in the study of psychology to know that people are affected at different times throughout their year. You know, we are more, you know, you've heard of the circadian rhythms. The basically people wake at certain hours, go to sleep at certain hours. They acclimate to seasons. We're influenced by this environment far more than we would care to let on. And part of that process in being influenced in that environment is sort of understanding how you where you operate at your highest frequencies, those highest, you know, vibrational spaces. And I think, you know, in the context of a relationship, so let's say, for an example, and this is true, my dad died April 20th. So you know, this was a very long time ago. This is 15, 16 years ago. But I was his caretaker. I took care of him right up until the last. And, you know, we were close. We have other brothers and sisters, of course, still. All of us were very close. And it was sad to see that transition. Yeah. However, let's say that I'm in a relationship. Psychologically, right around April 15th, while I'm paying taxes, I might start showing signs of something that I don't even on a conscious level even realize.
Yeah.
And so we have those nuances throughout our we have seasons that we go through. Like some people will be over exuberant. It's Christmas. I love Christmas. This is the best holiday of the year. Others are like, man, I cannot stand this time of the year. All the commercialism, all this foolishness that you got to deal with, traffic everywhere. And so there's those different sort of acculturations, like you said, how you were raised, but then what you ascribe importance to. And I think their moods are shifted a lot of times by things that they subconsciously don't even realize is going on.
That's why I think it's a great importance to be in tune with your partner. Okay, so you mentioned your dad. Now, from conversation, if I'm in tune with my partner, say I met him in July, and so we've shared, backgrounds, we've shared different experiences, and so that I already know when his father, passed, right? When April comes around, if I'm truly in tune to him, then I'm not going to be on the defense. Innately, I'm going to say, oh, yeah, this is around the time his father died. And I may even bring it to his attention. Well, baby, you might be in a funk because, this is around the time that your father passed. So, it's understandable. I understand why you might be in a bit of a funk, But if you're not in tune, you won't even remember when you're,
Right. Now see, that's a great. What you just said is exceptional. It is exceptional, and it's the kind of thing that a partner would really appreciate because of that tuning in. And I think it also brings up another aspect. Most guys, and I'm not going to say all, but I'm going to say most guys will not recognize that. Like they don't get that detail. And so women will get pissed off at that. Like he didn't even remember that this was this thing that happened to me or whatever. And so then he's in a doghouse for it. That could sometimes happen.
Yeah,
on the opposite
I definitely
side.
agree with that. Yes, being in tune. Maybe I'm an exceptional woman then.
Well, maybe you are.
I'm not going, like, if I'm in tune with my partner, I might understand that, he has this business and then he has this career and he, I'm saying without saying, I'm trying to be careful and mindful.
Sure.
And respectful. But you know what? I would hope that I'm with someone who, if it's something that major, a death, or a birthday or anniversary, that they would be able to bring that to mind, right? And if not, then I would mention, as a woman, we're going to remember. I would mention, and I would hope that he would be sensitive to the fact, But to me, it all goes back to being in tune. I think a lot of people are in relationships and marriages where they're truly just not in tune with their partner. Right.
You're right. Okay, well, good stuff. Good stuff. We're talking to Shawn Eaglin, and folks, this is Ninja Talks. We're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about Mogul on the Move. Very, very cool. So we'll take a break. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
And we are back. This is Ninja Talks. My name is Oscar Hines. I am here with Sean Eaglin. We are talking about some different aspects, and one of the aspects that I'd like to really get back to is business and some of the things that you do inside that space. So, Mogul on the Move is a beautiful name. I love it. Names resonate with me.
Thank you.
And then I like the acronym too.
Yes. And MOM, of course, the acronym is MOM. And the amazing thing about being a mom, a mogul on the move, is that you don't actually have to have a child, right? A lot of women, and I've had this discussion a multitude of times, are moms or mogul on the moves, and they may be, say I'm a career-driven woman, and I'm constantly on the move. Or maybe I am a mother. I may even be a stay-at-home mom, but I'm constantly on the move, taking care of my household, even if I'm a single mother. Attending events with my child, or maybe I'm having to go to social events, maybe I'm dealing with philanthropy. You do have a lot of stay-at-home moms that are working hard, sometimes harder than some people that are going off to work every day.
Right.
Or maybe I'm an entrepreneur and I'm constantly on the move. So there's different aspects of being a mom, but that does not mean, the acronym MOM does not stand for I have a child.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a woman that's constantly on the move.
Yes. So there's different dimensions, right, of everything you said. It's everything from either taking care of a child, managing your career, handling all these different nuances to your life. When you think about the obviously you've been around some very influential women over time, some powerful women, matriarchs that really help to sort of shape the strength of the woman that you become. When you think about these characteristics of someone who has to juggle all of these different, I like to not think of it as juggling. My analogy is plates. You know, those circus deals where you spin a plate because the one at the end starts to wobble. What characteristics do you have to effectively manage all of that?
You have to be the ultimate multitasker. It is the ultimate multitasker. You may have one day that's just full of everything from planning to organizing to managing to dropping off, picking up, to sending out correspondence, to putting out a fire, to, I mean, it's just, I mean,
so how do you do all of that well?
Well, not all are called to be a multitasker, right? But if you are a mogul on the move, you have to, for me, I'll just use myself for an example. Speaking on behalf of myself, I definitely try to stay focused. I start off my days with my scripture. I have a scripture with certain family members, my brother, his wife, one of their children, and some other individuals in our family. We share scripture. Then I have my own apps that I use for prayer and for scripture. And I just feel empowered, right? So I'm starting off my day already feeling empowered instead of defeated. Some women, you may wake up and you're already depleted and defeated because you're thinking about all the different tasks you have to accomplish today. But when you start off feeling empowered, you're going to have a different attitude, and you're going to approach each situation, each task with a positive. attitude, and you won't feel as defeated. To me, now that's just what I
Sure.
do, for myself.
That's a great methodology, because it's really sounding like you're grounding yourself and
That's a
your
great word.
energy
Yeah, that's
in
great.
at the beginning. And folks, sometimes I always like to kind of put in context. There are different people have different paradigms. So some people that may not be religious might shut out what you just said, because they're like, I'm not praying to some God in a Bible.
Well, maybe you might want to, do your yoga in the morning, or just spend that quiet time with yourself to just, shut everything else out that's going on. Sometimes I'll share with my moguls, if I'm on my platform, social media platforms. Close your eyes, take a deep, deep breath, and just sit in the fact that you are here. What is your purpose? Sometimes just grounding yourself in complete silence and thought, right, can just change, your attitude for the day.
Yes.
Maybe it's just you don't have to, whatever your, religious belief or non-existent religious belief, just that quiet time with yourself to woosah.
Yes, yes. Well, I know that it is probably too big a gap for a lot of people to jump when I say this. So it may be offensive to some, but there's a closer correlation than most people think to spirituality in a Judeo-Christian paradigm and spirituality from, let's say, an Eastern paradigm. Because if you're a Christian and you're praying to the Holy Spirit to help you have a good day, you could change that to, I'm praying to the universe, or I'm recognizing my own divinity. In an Eastern philosophy, you would say namaste. I acknowledge the God within you. So if I acknowledge that you are a divinity, does that make me a pagan? Because if we think about Genesis 1, where it says, God, let's make man in our image according to our likeness. And the our had to represent some divinities or angels or whatever one would use. It was plural. It wasn't singular. But so I think when we start to meditate at the really deepest levels, and something you just said about breathing in, taking that deep breath, from a holistic standpoint, when one takes that deep breath in, you're sending a signal to your subconscious mind, to your parasympathetic nerve, to start to go out of fight or flight and to settle into your energy. And then when you start thinking about how you elevate your thoughts towards purpose, and you become very intent on purpose, it becomes a transformative experience.
Yes, I agree.
I remember when I was at the height of being a single parent and handling my kids and handling my business and raising these guys the best way I could. I had to have a surgery, and I didn't want to have it. It was a voluntary surgery. It was an emergency surgery, but I had a hernia at the time, and I had to get it handled, and I was scared to death. If something happens to me, what's going to happen to my kids?
Yes, that's first thought.
And so that was worrisome to me. But of course, the day before that, I lit candles. I went into deep meditation, probably more profound than I had ever done before. And I visualized this perfect, amazing outcome. Everything was going to go well. Everything was going to go wonderful. And the next day, I got there at 6:30 in the morning, and I was supposed to not be in surgery till 10 or 11. And apparently the 7 o'clock guy didn't show up. So they were like, okay, we're taking you right now. I was like, but I wasn't ready. But they took me in, and it went smoothly. But the bigger part of that process was that after that, about a week later, I was told I shouldn't be lifting anything for 3 weeks or whatever. And I was stubborn, but I decided I would drive to Florida by myself, which I never did. And I used to always take my kids on vacation. I couldn't get on an airplane, but I wanted to get away. That was the thing. I wanted to meditate.
So you chose Florida.
I love the sort of emerald coast. Well, no, not quite like Fort Lauderdale or Miami. Okay. I'm talking about Destin, that area. So I drive because I can't get on planes carrying bags, all that. So it was relaxing. I get there, 9-10 hours to Destin, and then I didn't want to reserve anything. I wanted everything to happen sort of organically. So,
okay.
I found the perfect hotel. Then I rented this awesome condo overlooking the beach, and I took all my journals. But here was sort of the import. And guys, I really want you all to try this. If you haven't ever done this, and maybe with COVID you can do it or not, I'm not sure. But a Deepak Chopra book.
I love Deepak. Yeah.
He's cool. And he said, try this experiment. Go away for at least 3 days. Don't listen to any radio. Don't watch any TV. Don't interact with your phone. Don't connect with anything or any external stimulus. The only thing you can do if you do anything is read your own journals or things that you wrote yourself. But don't even read a book during these 3 days that's outside of the sphere. And I says, now why do that? Because what we'll realize is that our brain is like a turbulent sea. So it's thrashing about. It's thinking about what I did, what bill I didn't pay, what I have to do, what conversation I have to have. And so it's thrashing about. And then he says the second day, you've thought about most of what you were going to think about, so your brain settles. But then he says, usually by around the third day, something fascinating happens. Your mind becomes still like a pond. And he says, now, imagine a pebble that's dropped into that pond, but imagine the pebble as your intention, your purpose. And when it drops into the pond, it resonates outwards, and that resonating is the energy frequencies in the universe that's helping you to actualize your vision.
Profound.
And I love that.
Profound vision.
I love that.
And those of you guys who don't keep a journal, maybe take that time to start writing.
Yeah.
Use that time to start writing down your thoughts and aspirations and, just different.
I literally, and I don't know why, I started writing journals at 13.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I have a chronicle. And what's interesting is that it's like a snapshot of where you are psychologically. And folks, most of us are fooled into this false notion that we're going to remember how this was. Okay, I went through a divorce. I'm going to remember how this was now because that was so frustrating and humiliating and I'll never let that happen and blah, 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 blah. And then you really forget. And you rationalize it until you justify it and you marry the same asshole you married the first time. And people have patterns.
Yes.
So the beauty about it is when you have a journal and you can go back and you review these things, which I did. And one of my realizations during those journal reviews of all these many, many years, and I went through my marriage and the whole deal, was I realized I was living a lot of fear-based thoughts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And so many, that's a sermon. So many people live, and that is in their personal lives and their careers, in fear.
Yeah.
The decisions that are being made are in fear. I just had this conversation with a guy that I'm doing business with, and he made a comment to me. He said, you're the first person who actually was so detailed about the contract that we're trying to close. And I said, oh, well, that's because I don't do anything out of fear. Decisions that I make, I've prayed about them, I've meditated, I've digested.
Yes.
So I'm never going to act out of desperation, out of fear, because that's when it's detrimental, right?
Absolutely.
And so many people really function professionally and personally out of fear. Maybe out of fear of losing this person, or maybe losing this opportunity,
right? This
great career opportunity. But I always feel like what's meant for you is meant for you, and you just never want to go into something driven by fear.
Yes, I agree completely. But there's a challenge with that in the sense that we're living in a fear-based society, and
yes,
people respond more to the stick than to the carrot. So in the context of what's happened in the last 6 months, we've seen a massive shift, first in our health and how we greet each other, and then in the way that we relate. When I see someone and I smile at them, they see my smile, I see their smile. That's the first communication. It's like, now you've got this mask on, so you've got to
see their smile.
Yeah, yeah, or not see their smile. That's right. That's true. You cannot see their smile. But so the paradigm has shifted. But then there's also real people that are really dying. It's not just make believe. You know, there's a real pandemic. But then there's also this undercurrent where the manipulators of this system of things are using the narrative to scare people into behaviors, and that's troublesome to me. The notion of like I referenced in a video I produced about the Las Vegas shooter. Remember that Las Vegas shooter?
Yes.
The thing that made that really diabolical is that he studied the angles of how that park was set up, and he knew that since people came in this exit, they were going to be going out this exit when they heard gunfire. And he was positioned so that as they were coming out, he was just picking them off. That's how he shot 83 people. It's insane. So
such a far range.
So people act out of fear, but when they act out of fear, it's predictable.
Oh yes.
So my question to you as a political strategist is when you see one of your candidates or one of your clients that are wanting to respond to something and they're fearful, how do you maneuver that?
Once again, it's reeling that individual in. It's the calming of the situation, right? Calming that individual to a sensible mindset.
Talk them off the cliff.
Yes, sensible mindset. I even use the verbiage. Okay, let's breathe.
Yeah.
Let's breathe. So that we're not reacting out of fear, out of anger, out of frustration. But it's every. So I try to be a grounded person, and I have to keep reiterating that because when you know your purpose, and my purpose is to serve others, I can't serve others if I'm not grounded. Correct?
Sure.
People can't come to me when they're in chaos if I'm chaotic.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So since I know that my place is the matriarch in my nucleus, then I have to remain grounded. I have to be the one to calm. I have to be the one to it could be this. We can be in the same situation, my mom and I, and something happens, and she immediately goes to, freaking out, and I'm like, okay, come here, let's do this, let's do that. I immediately go into that mode.
Yeah.
Of organizing, But if I say anything else, I would say to you guys out there, you have to be so grounded. Now, for me, it's spirituality, it's energy. I'm a true believer of energy. Everything is not just religion. It's not. Energy is so important. What, like you said, how you grounded yourself before your surgery. The energy that you put out.
Yes.
Your mind is so powerful. It affects your body.
Absolutely.
If you realize that, what if you would have gone in stressed and your body's tensing up? How would that have affected your surgery? We don't know. I'm not a physician, so I don't know. But the mindset and the energy is so important to me when you're dealing with, like what we're dealing with now, our environment, politically.
Yes. The
tension between your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor has a different political viewpoint than you do. How do you, I'm going to make you speak to me. Hi, good morning.
Yes.
You don't speak. That has happened to me. I have a Republican, neighbor, and I'm a Democrat. He ignored me. Good morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to still put out pleasant energy. I'm going to still, show him, hey, regardless of those beliefs, I'm still here as your neighbor. I still care. I still, want to be pleasant. I want pleasantries between us.
But see, that's so important. We do a show on Mondays called Dearly Disenfranchised. It is
I love that title.
It is cool.
I love it.
It is and it's very apropos. And I think you might have a fascinating conversation with Nicole Gray, who is the co-host of that show. She's an attorney, and she speaks to this idea of the disenfranchised on the political spectrum. But we were talking hyper bipartisanship on this past subject. We had a Republican on that we addressed it with him as well. But it has gotten so divisive. It is now become a matter of literally a zero-sum game where you got to hate the other side in order to be a loyal whatever.
And here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. One thing that Janine did, which was different from the other candidates, she started. So you're going to always get questions from your constituents, right?
Yes.
From the public. And so one of the I guess locals in Fort Bend County made the comment, I would vote for you. You seem like a strong candidate, but you're a Democrat, and Democrats don't believe in working. I mean, literally. Now, this is a person who is a Democrat that works, has a job, but she said Democrats don't believe in hard work.
Yeah.
They believe in killing babies. I mean, she was so passionate about it. And so Janine and myself were like, okay, well, when you're dealing with someone's safety, it doesn't matter if I'm a Republican or a Democrat.
Exactly. You're a human.
It's bipartisan. My thought when I come to your house, when you've called me, you know, 911 dispatcher has reached out to me to come because someone's breaking into your house.
Exactly.
Your political party is non-existent in my mindset.
Yes.
Some things have got to be bipartisan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's just, it is what it is.
You're right.
You know.
Well, you know, the thing that I guess disturbs me is I think at a very rudimentary level, I'm a humanist. I love people. I love human beings. I love relationships and interaction and enhancing communities. But that's a rarity.
That's a rarity.
Well, I wish it weren't.
I know. I do too. I have one of my mentors, Sean, you want everyone to be, you know, so humble, and you want everyone to care so much. Everybody is not like you. Sure. And, you know, you have to come to that realization. You can't expect everyone
absolutely
have a deep love for others.
That's true. But you know, to the degree that hopefully we exude that love, it'll resonate back at some level. I've found that there are people that I've treated with kindness that were not kind, and they found a place in their heart to be kind. And I would encourage those listening to us today to think about how you bring kindness to someone's life, how you show them the I would call it service-centered leadership, because you are providing that service, but you also a leader in that space. So this time has gone by very quickly.
It did.
Time flies really when you're having great conversations. So tell folks how they can connect with Shawn Eagleman.
So you can either call me at 832-865-0625. You can go to my website, www.mogulonthemove.com. You can find me on Instagram at mogulonthemove.
Yes.
And then Shawn Eagleman is my Facebook. Most of my time is spent on Instagram, where I communicate. You know.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely reach out if you have any questions regarding real estate, how you can serve someone else, or if you just want to communicate. It's fine with me. I'm open.
Well, they're going to want to communicate because you're gorgeous and beautiful, and they're going to be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're going to say, "I am happily
yes,
committed."
I am taken right now.
So, guys, if you're calling for that reason, don't waste your time.
Yes, don't waste your time. I'm going to send you prayer hands.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, you heard it live.
And I want to thank you before I have to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really do. I appreciate it. I feel honored, so I do want to thank you.
Sure. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation, and you are a powerhouse, and it's exciting to watch how you move through the spaces that you occupy. So I'm loving Mogul on the Move, and I think that there's a lot of promise in the future with that. So we'll see how it develops here at Edge Radio.
Yes. Exciting things in the works. So keep me uplifted. I need that good energy coming my way.
Yes, absolutely. All right, folks, you have been listening to Ninja Talks here on Edge Radio. We are out today. We are going to go ahead and connect with Real Talk Real Estate at 11:30. So be sure to stay tuned for Real Talk Real Estate coming up, and right after that, Matchmaker Hotline. Thank you for joining us today, and stay connected. We'll talk soon.